I'm gonna smoke this Delta 8 pre-roll. I just wanted to make sure if I knew it wasn't weed or a cigarette before I smoked it. These are cool though.
He started lighting one of those on PKN, and I thought he started smoking cigs again. But no, it's barely legal hemp smokes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those.
So like I don't know whether it's Delta 8 weed and sprayed with CBD or if it's CBD sprayed with Delta 8. I think you're having a hard time seeing it, but it's like you can't. It's spritzed with a chemical that you can see has been spritzed on there. Like so you can see stains all over the paper.
Are you like from the future? What do you have any natural things anymore? That you got chemical cigarettes? You're injecting yourself with God juice?
Oh, this isn't even the only thing I inject myself. I didn't grab the big vial. So I inject myself with L-carnitine every day, a full milliliter. So with testosterone, I do this little baby dose, like something like that. But with L-carnitine, I do the full fucking shot in my ass every day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's just that's like a vitamin. It's got a lot of good things that it does for you, but it's not fucking with my body chemistry in any scary way. But there's plenty of stuff that you could do. Like you, Dick, could turn into a frightening thing to look at in like 8 months. Like you've already got such a good base that like if you went hard for 8 months on the juice, you would be like scary. Like you would look better than I looked in those pictures.
Would I have to give up drugs and alcohol though?
No. How much alcohol?
A lot.
Yeah, I think then with the alcohol, it would become like a calorie discussion. Like what amount of calories are you consuming?
I don't care about like drugs and alcohol as far as your body chemistry. It's literally all the calories. It's that 90 calorie shot. Yeah.
Okay.
So you could do like White Claws and
think of the alcohol as your
I'll just
carbs.
switch to acid.
Think of alcohol as carbs, and we're fine. So like,
yeah, that's a lateral move.
So you
it is.
You have like your sirloin steak.
Dare doesn't want you to know that. The big liquor doesn't want you to know that, but it is.
I've never done acid. Would just switch to acid?
Oh, the move. This will change if you're dealing with liquor issues in your life. This will change your life. You get I got a big water bottle in the fridge, and I drop like 2 or 3 hits in it, and I got it dosed so that a regular shot, you come out, it was like a buzz of a beer. So and it'll last for hours. So if I'm going to a Dodger game, I'll line up 3 shots of my diluted acid water. Pop 3 shots, head to the Dodger game. I'll have 2 beers, 2 $20 beers at the Dodger game, and it's like as good as getting shit faced. You don't overdo it. Like you're a lot more mellow, but you're still enjoying baseball. Like that's the measure of any drug is does it make me enjoy baseball?
Yeah.
Yes. Sign me up. Like
a drug must be amazing if it makes you enjoy $20 beers.
Yeah, and baseball.
But only 2 of them. Usually I'm good for like 7. Like, oh, this is fucking miserable. I got to go buy another $20 beer.
That's an expensive baseball game.
Yeah, they're so expensive. It's no good. No.
Wait, so like,
so do you like acid?
Oh yeah, I love.
Yeah.
What's
the most
acid.
you've ever taken?
Just 1 or 2.
Okay.
1 or 2. It'll last you like 12 hours. It makes your. Have any of you done acid?
I've done acid.
You've done acid. It makes my. It's either just like a totally chill fear and loathing experience. I don't see anything crazy like that. Like blinking, you'll see a bunch of like demons and spiders and stuff. But as long as your eyes are open, you're fine.
You don't see stuff moving. You don't see like
and spiders and stuff.
I'll see like stucco will undulate.
The sort of breathing pulsating thing.
Yeah, but you have to look at it. It's not like you're getting like all these fucking posters are coming alive and getting me.
If I don't stop and look at it, then it won't be there. But if I stop and I look for it, almost it's there. So like a TV that's paused might look like it's still playing, or like a cell phone might have like wiggly bits around the perimeter or something like that. I took a lot. I took 4, and like the sky was breathing, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. That's the best drug. That's the best drug.
I agree. The only bad time I ever had on it was I did a bunch of acid and I took my dog to the dog park, and a bunch of these fucking kids were there screaming and hollering and like trying to pet my dog and fucking with my dog with sticks, and it turned into this weird oil painting, like
oil painting. Nailed it. Yeah, that's an aesthetic that acid plays up, is this oil painting thing. This
really?
Like how brush strokes are in oil painting. Like when I would look at my phone, it would have these sort of scallops of that oil painting color wiggling around the perimeter, sort of how like a fancy painting has that border that it's framed in, and it has those little scalloped shapes of like, maybe just brush strokes or something, or maybe it's usually wood that's been like notched out or something with like a hand tool to make it decorative. But my phone had those, and they were fucking wiggling around and shit. But I was still like plenty sober enough, at least mentally speaking, to be like, so right now my phone has some oil painting bits around the perimeter. That's weird. I'm not like wasted out of my mind, like not knowing what's going on or being.
So you're still with it enough to be
100%.
like, what I'm looking at is clearly because I took acid.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm like, well, this much acid makes things look very odd, doesn't it? Very odd indeed.
It turns you into a bit of an asshole too. Really? Oh my, what a sophisticated experience we're having right here. It will make you a little meta, overly meta, intolerably meta. But you will never laugh harder. You'll never laugh fucking harder.
I've never laughed harder. And it was very, very funny. And I watched some animation, like some of the classic shit, like Alice in Wonderland and maybe Fantasia, and it was fucking great. There was another person there on acid, and they were freaking out, like having a minor, like I called it like white girl having her third like Mike's Hard Lemonade drum.
Yep.
But it was that reaction, and I kept saying, "I'm like, you're like a white girl who's had her third fucking mics, dude. Chill the fuck up, chill the fuck out. Like come on, chill the fuck out." And
we're all on acid.
We're all on acid. Like, but the floor's moving. Yeah, it's moving for us all. Chill the fuck out. We all see the floor moving, and we're enjoying it. Stop being weird.
With the amount you guys were doing, you don't need a babysitter or anything. You can just go about your life. Like you're not getting sculled off of it or anything.
No,
if we'd had to deal with any adult shit, I mean, that wouldn't have been good. But I did it at night, and I didn't have any adult shit to do. But if like somebody came to my door and needed me to like fill out a form or like give them some fucking information, it'd have been weird. I think I'd have gotten it done, but they'd have been like, "That guy's fucking weird, huh?" like you see, I was licking his nose. He kept like he touched the tip of his nose with his tongue 3 times and then look around like a lizard. It was weird. And meanwhile, I'm like seeing flies around me, and I am a lizard in my mind or something. Like I'm trying to catch them. No,
I accidentally did some acid and then had to interview Onision on the kill stream. Did I tell you guys this story?
No, you did not.
Oh, I didn't? Oh, no. You know who Onision is, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of a big guy. It was right when Chris Hansen tried to fuck him over. Chris Hansen had the Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator.
He was on the show.
Oh, he was. So he had led like a year-long thing of like uncovering Onision's predatory whatever, and I don't know that much about the guy, but I was busting his balls on Twitter, saying like, "Oh, you should call into the kill stream, right? And we'll show Chris Hansen, because Chris Hansen wanted to not do it live and record it and then release it later, and it's like, no one's gonna do that. Come on, you're gonna make him look like an idiot. We know how the news works." So I said, "Oh, you should come on Twitter," and then I popped in some acid, and I'm like, dee. And about 2 hours later, right when it kicks in, I get a text from somebody saying like, "Oh, can't wait to see you interviewing Onision tonight on the kill stream." I said, oh no. So I said, "Honey, I told her about this." She gets home from work, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, "Oh, that's great." I'm like, "No, I did a bunch of acid like 2 hours ago."
How much did you do?
Just one. One. Yeah. So I said, "Can you like go to the store and can you go to the drugstore and get me some Ipecac so I can throw it up?" And she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I saw a Family Guy where they drank Ipecac and they all started throwing up. And it's like a thing that you drink and it makes you throw up." And she's like, "Okay." So I start trying to make myself throw up because it's not hit me yet. There was like a half hour or something. I can still get this up. And I imagine the little thing floating around in my stomach and it's like slowly getting it out. I'm like, "I gotta get this fucking thing out of here."
Just so everybody's clear,
It's already gone.
All over.
Yeah.
It was over. It was
over. So I'm like, desperately trying. I have my whole fucking hand in my mouth, like I'm trying to gut a fish or like stuff a turkey. And I'm like, why isn't this working? Like, how do girls do this? I can't make myself throw up. I'm just throwing up like bile kind of down my hand.
Yep.
She comes back. I'm slumped over on the toilet, just like drenched in sweat. And she goes, the guy at CVS said they stopped making Ipecac like 30 years ago or in the 70s or something. He didn't know what the fuck.
Do you want the home remedy?
What is it?
Sucking a long dick. Please tell me it's sucking a long dick. I've seen enough porn. I know it makes you vomit.
It's very salty water. Just take the salt.
I tried that too. That was the next thing she did. She's like, I looked it up. It's salty water. I'm like, okay, fucking bring on the salt. Let's go. Salt, milk, everything. I'm chugging it. And finally, I'm like, this is just disgusting at this point. Like, it's just piled on top of the acid.
So you had to do the acid with all that salt in your belly. And the acid.
And the acid.
I just imagine your lips are parched. You're so dehydrated, but you're seeing shit too.
So 5 hours later, I'm on this call with fucking Onision with my bathrobe tied. I'm totally naked because I'm sweating like a fucking maniac. I'm so worried about, like, thousands of people are listening to this. Is like the interview that Chris Hansen couldn't get. And of course, I'm not just going to say, hey, Ralph, I cancel. Like, I did too much acid. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to fucking nail this. Here we go. So I tie my bathrobe around I'm sitting right here. The lights are all off. I'm looking at my phone. All the buttons are like, like you were saying that they do.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to do this interview and not giggle and sound like pretend normal. Like, oh, so you're saying this? And he's talking about all these horrible. Like he starts talking about how when his kid walked out the window of his house or something is some kind of, I guess it was his horrible tragedy. And then he's talking about how he heard a demon laughing or something, and I just couldn't contain myself. I'm like, what do you mean? You heard a demon when your kid walked out the window of your house? Like, I start laughing, and everybody on the I can tell that they're horrified because they're like, why are you fucking saying that? Why are you calling him out on this demon thing about his kid? And I'm like, because it's fucking retarded. I don't know what you want me to say. He's trying to tell the story of a demon talking to him after his kid died, and then Keemstar jumps on. I'm like, oh my fucking god. I'm like, baby, am I doing a good job? And she's like, well, you're sweating a lot. Okay. So I'm busting his balls, and I'm trying not to bust his balls so much that he just leaves. But he's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have a relationship with Onision, but he's like he's weird. I was on acid, so what do I know? But he seems like a real weird fuck.
I bet he thinks you're just a normal guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so the interview's done. And Chris Hansen, they were busting Chris Hansen's balls. So Chris Hansen takes a picture, gets his Emmy out, puts it on his coffee table, takes a picture, and sends it to me. He's like, well, this is what I got. Fuck you guys, interview. This is what I got. And I'm like, okay, hey, everybody listening. I got a secret to tell you guys. I did a bunch of acid after saying he should come on, and I didn't. I've been keeping it a secret this whole time. So,
and meanwhile, you're like not convincing at all. You're like,
yeah, we know
something.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm really fucking wasted on acid.
Did his kid get hurt or die or something by falling out of a window?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I just heard it at that moment on the show. I never looked. If it was
that
true.
happened in my friend's family, and the kid was totally fine. So the window had a screen in it, and the kid was like 2.5.
Yeah.
It pushed the screen out. The kid fell out, rode the screen down, landed in like bushes and stuff, and it served as like a trampoline at the bottom. Not a bouncy thing, but like maybe the scene where the adults grab the
Indiana Jones 2.
And, did
Indiana Jones. Yeah. No, that's Temple of Doom. Yeah, that's Temple of Doom.
And they fell out in the raft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, the effect of the trampoline hitting the bushes and everything, the kid just like gentle landed and kept walking.
That's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there was no demons involved in that.
I think you want to take acid. I think that's the main trip. Have you ever done DMT?
I tried. Yes, I have done it, but I didn't see any of the goofy shit that people say you see, like little gremlins running around and journeys and stuff. I did so much DMT, and I said, well, this is defective, so I got a DMT pipe. and I pounded it so hard that I felt like time was skipping as I was turning. But then nothing. It was instantly gone. I didn't get any kind of awareness of anything.
Huh.
It really annoyed me, actually. Now, when anybody talks about it, now I get so annoyed because I didn't have. I'll try it again, but I couldn't do it. I tried it a bunch of times.
Hold on a second. Did more time pass than you thought?
No, it felt just like I was moving hard through space. It felt like things weren't keeping up, but it was only for a moment.
It's like you were like clipping through reality.
Yeah, like sativa or whatever.
Frame rate's too low.
Salvia.
Yeah, the frame rate's.
I wish
the
there was
frame
a
rate's
drug
too low.
that made lines at the DMT seem faster, or like all over the place. Like if you could just avoid waiting.
There are
that'd be
drugs that make the
great.
wait fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just weed.
There's a lot of those. But yeah, I would like to do DMT. Now you smoked it out of what looked like a crack pipe, I guess. You had some little granules.
Yeah, I did a crack pipe, and I had to go at I went to a gas station to get a liquor store to get a crack pipe at 10:30. I was already drunk. I've never been looked at like that before in my life.
Yeah,
it was the first crack pipe I ever bought. I did it out of that.
Like you were drunk. I highly doubt this.
No, I was low, like a crack addict. Like I said, hey, do you have any oil pipes? And they're like, ooh. Like, no eye contact. This is in the barrio. Here you go, buddy. Get out of here. I did it on that. It was shitty. And then the vape pen too, which came highly recommended, but it just didn't fucking work for me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to is if you've done it out of a pipe. I hear they do them out of vapes. I've seen them done out of vapes. I've seen them do both ways. Like we do our monthly hangout with fans, $50 patrons down below. Link, go down there if you want to join us and watch some of this shenanigans that happen every month. Coming up in a couple of weeks. And there's a couple of guys who have done DMT there in front of us, and they go on some fucking journeys sometimes. It definitely more than what you're describing, like the drooling and fucking seeing all sorts of fucking like lights and going on a whole journey and stuff. Like I got the guy to close his eyes, do 3 hits, and then he was so suggestive. Like when I did that I was like, do you see gold lights? And he's like, now I do. And it's like, all right, well, and it's like, and you can sort of guide them through some space racer shit if you want to, or send them into a jungle or whatever you want to do. So that was neat. So I am curious about it, but acid is it's so similar but so different at the same time, because this DMT thing is supposed to be like this 15-minute trip that feels longer, but you're in and out. And then acid is buckle up, we're in for the night. Like this is it. This is what we're doing tonight.
Well, I'll try DMT again and let you know, but I would be very annoyed if I'm immune to it somehow. At first I thought, okay, so everyone's just lying about this. This is a thing everybody's doing as a joke on me. Yeah. Lying about DMT.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I think. Because people do that with mushrooms. People will act like mushrooms are going to make you see a fucking cartoon character in the room with you or something. And it's like, dude, the colors are more saturated, all right? And I feel a little dizzy. And in my case, I had a panic attack, but that was because I was at a fucking Walmart. Mm-hmm. But but even with acid, lots of acid, I'm not seeing any fucking frogmen or anything like that. No. Everything's just beautiful, and I feel silly.
So even on a bunch of acid, you're not imagining whole cloth something new in your vision.
No. I'm seeing distorted versions of what is actually there.
Is there a level of acid where you will see that? Just fully construct existence of people.
I don't think that it makes sense for someone to take that much more acid than I took. I took 4 hits and I saw about as much as I think you're going to see while you're conscious anyway. Now, maybe if you're unconscious on acid, that's interesting. Do your dreams take upon some sort of new, more powerful version? That's interesting to kind of think about.
So basically, I know you've tried shrooms also.
Yeah.
Acid just a million times better in every way.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, you've got to power down the shrooms, unless you're drinking them. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm aware of people, but I always ate straight up mushrooms and that sucks. But with acid, you're putting this tiny little piece of paper that's a square on your tongue. And I mean, tiny, tiny, it's hard to grab it correctly sometimes. And, it tastes like nothing. It doesn't make you feel nauseous in any way. You're not hungry. You don't have a loss of appetite. You're just you But now we're about to go and have a little fun. Everything's silly and funny, and everything looks squiggly.
Isn't it? I always heard like it's weird to eat on acid.
It's disgusting. It's like you can
disgusting.
feel the molecules ripping. I can't even think about eating food on acid.
So we planned what like the all right, we're gonna do acid now. So what are we gonna eat? And I was like, I want a maple donut with bacon on it, and that's what I ate that night for dinner. I had a maple bacon donut, and it was so fucking delicious on acid. I was like, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. And Fish was like,
then you're the weird one because like everyone I've heard talking about acid is like, oh, I can't possibly eat on acid.
Yeah, I can't at all.
Everybody ate on
Like,
it.
what if the food was more like homogenous? You know, like I don't know, like an orange juice or something that was just even in the same all the way through.
I don't know. It's like the concept of chewing through something seems totally disgusting to me on acid. I'll eat a couple chips, I guess, but maybe it's a meat
Peanut
thing.
butter on a spoon or chips. Yeah, something that doesn't have lots of texture and variety.
So meat is gross on acid?
Yeah, well, the thing with acid confuses the senses. It swaps all your senses around. So it's weird thinking of taste in when you're high anyway. At least for me, it is. It's not quite the same. It doesn't work the same. Like you don't think of a big hamburger like, oh, delicious, I can't wait to bite in. It's more like that's a foreign. I suddenly don't understand what it would be to eat that hamburger.
Like you're it's just disconnected. You don't understand what it would be like to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, and then your head fills in the blanks. You're like, well, maybe it would be like, what is that I'm doing? I don't enjoy it. I try not to eat.
That's interesting.
I'll eat right at the beginning, but not in the middle.
I was right in the middle. I've only done it the one time though. Had a great time. Everything was beautiful. Everything was funny. That was fun.
Well, some people say not that they don't have sex on it either. That it eliminates their sex drive, and it is the most indescribably amazing sex I've ever had in my life. Every single time.
I was thinking like when I took it, I was like, I want to fuck on this now. I want to see what that's like because like marijuana like helps sex so much, and it's just like this is like super. Like, it reminds me a lot of marijuana without like the dopey kind of part. It's more of the like euphoric, silly kind of part. I was just laughing my ass off at just about everything, and even if some of it wasn't that funny. But even the stuff that was funny, it would be like that contagious laughter where like even after you're done, you think about it again and you're like, oh, you're just like rolling again. Let's just thinking about it. And then, or you look at your buddy and he just starts like smirking and laughing. And like, now you can't stop smirking and laughing. It was just, you had the giggles for fucking 6 hours or something like that. It was fun.
I did. I went to this show in Chicago. My friend Carl had a comedy show, and I got everybody to drop a half a tab of acid and go to this White Sox game. So it was 3 comedians at a stadium, a baseball game where the clientele is like the scummy version. It's the scummy team in Chicago. It's not the Cubs. It's like the fancy team, but the White Sox is like guys with shirts, guys wearing like with dyed white hair. Everybody's fatter than hell. So we're walking around watching fights break out in the stands that dogs are getting dragged in on, ripping on everybody for like 5 hours. It was one of the funniest days of my life. Because we were all on, it was great. I would have been okay, I guess, without it. But
there's a thing on YouTube. I think maybe Vice does it, and they have like people go do a thing on acid, and they pick interesting things for them to go do. They send this one guy to go to a monster truck rally, but he has to do like interviews and stuff. Like he has a camera, and he's never been to a monster truck rally, and like his job is to do this sort of like interview thing about. What's this crazy thing all about? And so like he's like, that was really weird. He was behind the table, and the normal fucking thing would have been for me to walk around the table and interview him like a human being, but instead I reached awkwardly way across the table, so now I have to go back and forth with the mic, and I didn't even have a fucking question in my goddamn head. So of course, what do I ask him? What's it like to drive a monster truck? And do you like it? And it's just the most. And it's just super. And then they have another guy, and so that guy like he was on the struggle bus. He had a hard time. Then they sent another guy to like, what's that big dog show? Like the big one they televise every
The
year.
Westminster Dog Show.
They send him to like the fancy ass dog show in New York.
That's funny.
On acid once again. like I think he had to interview people and stuff. Like completely different guy.
How's your
there's
dog?
like 3 of them on there where they send someone.
Well,
to
what kind of dog do you have?
That's
Why
a
is
silly
it?
dog.
Why is it so long?
Is this a good boy?
Would you qualify your dog as a good boy? Yeah, I guess so.
but they're not like that. They're more just like really
Panic.
awkward and panic.
It's terror. It's fucking terror.
Because like the monster truck rally is just, the trucks are banging and everything, and there's smoke and engine oil and exhaust and everybody's screaming, and he's just like, he had taken 2 big tabs of acid. They were on like, it looked like they were on Altoids or something. It was like those kind. It wasn't pieces of paper.
Is that way bigger? Like way more of it?
No, you just drop it on whatever you want. Like you can drop it on a chip and eat it.
I know people who have just used the dropper before and just dropped it straight into their mouth.
How expensive is acid?
The cheapest drug imaginable. It's like
it really is
like $4 a hit.
Yeah,
I don't even know anybody who sells acid.
Think again.
All right, I know one person who sells acid.
Think again.
Just kidding.
I certainly gonna sell the fucking acid. But no, there's a bunch of people that are like into that sort of thing. It wouldn't, if you wanted some, I'm sure you could find it. It's just people who smoke weed usually know people who do acid. I don't know. The next time I do it, I want to be like, I don't know, somewhere on some sort of cool place. I don't know. I want to look at something cool in nature next time I do it, I think.
That would be neat. What do you want to look at? Grand Canyon?
A waterfall would be cool. I think a waterfall, like if it was like a big one and you were kind of like down below. No, not something like all touristy. Like it could just be like when Woody and Chiz went rafting. There was a waterfall there that you could kind of walk up to, and the water was just kind of thundering down on the rocks. Like that would be like,
that'd be cool.
You could sit there all fucking day and stare at that. It'd be all wiggly and shit. Or maybe just going to like a petting zoo or something like that.
Or maybe something totally more mild.
Stay away from kids. I'm telling you, they're the fucking worst. They seem like little animals tearing things apart. They're horrible.
Well, I'm at a petting
Kids
zoo.
are hard to deal with on acid.
Kids, yes.
Well, you don't give the kids acid. Jesus. What'd you expect? I enjoyed it thoroughly. I couldn't imagine having a negative reaction to it because it seemed like what was in my mind had so little to do with what I was seeing. Mm-hmm. Because like I remember there was this like sort of caricaturized clown drawing in the house, and it had been like airbrushed or something, like some sort of like street art, and like its cheeks had that like this rosy thing where like they got rosier and rosier toward the center, but it was orange, and staring at that, it would invert and revert from the perimeter being light and the center being dark to the center being light and the perimeter being dark. It was like fluxing, and it was just like, fuck, I could stare at this clown all day. I think clowns are scary, but there was nothing about that scenario that was scary because it was a cartoon clown on a fucking wall. It didn't matter that my mind might be like, better not start thinking about it. It's like, why not? What would happen? I'm on acid. I'm not insane. Like, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm on acid. There's a big
sounds
difference.
like acid is the hallucinogen go-to.
Yeah.
It has been for me for sure, because DMT, like we saw that guy do DMT. I would still do it, but that shit looks scary, right? When he started like
that
coughing.
guy was fucked up.
Yeah. He started coughing up like like phlegm. And like he seemed like if he were just a little more fucked up, he could choke on it. Like
Dick
it was that
doesn't. No, we do our patron chats with the $50 patrons. Check out our Patreon. Okay. And one of those gentlemen decided to smoke a huge amount of DMT while on the hangout.
Cool. And in a call like this, essentially.
In a call like this. And he smoked a huge amount of DMT. Well, he smoked a little DMT at first, and then Kyle guided him through a nice little pleasant escapade. And then he decided to double down and smoke more DMT later. And he got so fucked up, he was like sitting there like shaking at one point on the chat. There's all of us and 24 other people. And he just goes like, I don't even... just vomiting like foam out of his mouth like a rabid dog just vomiting foam out of his mouth.
Cool.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it did not sell me on the experience. What is what's because you say people are like being reckless and ridiculous in Burning Man. What is, I guess, the worst you've ever seen someone injured while you've been there?
Seen someone? Somebody at my camp while we were building a stage. One year we built a TV station. So we built a huge stage, like a talk show stage and a sitcom stage. And we had a camera that broadcast everything to this tiny TV. So people would come and sit and then watch this little tiny TV. Yeah. That was the whole thing going in front of them. Mm-hmm. But as we were building it, one of the boys from Oklahoma who knows how to use power tools was holding a screw for one of the jackasses from Silver Lake down the street in California who doesn't know how to do them, and he drilled through his finger. He drilled straight through his thumb fingernail all the way through. So he had to go to the medic tent and get an X-ray and shit.
So they have X-ray machines on site?
Oh, they got all kinds of stuff there. They got real doctors, nurses.
What's that shit that solves OD? Like, it might start with an N.
Narcan, yeah.
I bet they've got lots of Narcan at Birmingham.
I don't know if they have it.
What are the drugs of choice?
That's the most important thing to have at Burning Man.
What are the drugs of choice at Burning Man? Yeah. Same as they are everywhere else. Molly, cocaine, acid.
Okay.
Mushrooms.
Molly.
I guess you get real locked into a mushroom kick if you want. I don't touch that dirty stuff though.
Mm-mm.
No, did you have a bad experience with mushrooms at Burning Man?
It's just like too annoying to be around mushroom people. They're always talking about their like emotional breakthroughs and stuff. I'm like, man, I don't. Can you get on like a fun drug or something? Is there a drug that you don't process trauma on that you could get on? Because this is really fucking boring. I feel like I'm in a young adult novel right now.
You're just walking around trying to like give people shots of some whiskey,
of acid,
a little bit.
Yeah,
shots of acid.
Yeah, I had a very complicated setup of dropping and then dividing up the shots. And I was like, all right, so there's 3/8 of a hit in all these. And everybody does them, and my friend goes, "Can you just review the math on that real quick before I drink this?" I said, "No, you're just gonna have to." I mean,
were you right, or did they?
Yeah, I was right. Fuck him. Fucking question my math.
Review the math.
Question my math at Burning Man, you bitch. Put an extra eyedropper in there for you.
Yeah,
but it was only 3/8 of a hit, though. Is that what?
3/8 of a hit of acid. Yeah, I think.
Does that mean it's like a half dose, roughly? Am I understanding
a little
correctly?
less.
Okay,
that's perfect, man. If you want to go to a baseball game and not spend $300 on beer and like a Dodger dog, 3/8 acid, nail it. You're not up all night.
What's a Dodger dog?
So if you're new to LSD, LSD's acid, right? That's what you'd suggest. Someone take a 3/8 of a hit.
Yes. Take like 10 shots and dump them in a thermos. Put one hit of acid in one little stamp or one little drop of acid in there, and then you can dose yourself with shots. Like if you want to do one shot, like 1/10, 2/10, 3/10.
Okay. Just mix it in water.
One full hit of acid, like one tab, is way too much in my opinion, especially for first timers. It will blow your mind out of your ass for like 12 hours and make you all jittery coming down. It's too much.
I didn't get jittery, but I had a great time.
And you took a full hit, Kyle, as far as you know.
I took 5 hits of acid.
You took 5 at once.
Yeah. Well, I took one and then waited an hour and then took another, and then it was like, come on, just give me the rest. Like clearly this is a good like I'm gonna love 3, and I promise you, there's nothing I'm gonna love more than 3 than fucking 4. Give me all the acid that's mine, and I'm gonna take it. And I took all the acid. It's great. I saw the clown.
Did you go to sleep?
Melt. No, I was up for at least 12 hours high as fuck. Like the moon jiggled and moved, like the clouds wiggled. faces melted on the wall and paintings and stuff, and colors were beautiful. It was wonderful. Everything was funny. Everything was so giggly funny, and we would like somebody would make a joke, and you would just die laughing, like till tears are coming out of my eyes, and like it hurt to laugh more. And then an hour later, someone would say whatever the triggering word was for that joke, and you just die again. Or I would just get the giggles. For no reason. I'd just be.
That's what mushrooms are like for me.
Just giggling over there.
Now, I've told the story a bunch of times. I took a small dose of mushrooms. It was a gram. And my friend showed up at the campfire with a really shitty chair. It was like 4 beer cans next to each other would be the equivalent of this camp chair. And he thought he was awesome, that he was going to have the only chair, and then everyone else whipped out better chairs. So we just mocked him all night long. This isn't like class A material here, right? Bill Burr is not doing his stand-up on camp chairs, but we were dying. It was the funniest fucking thing to watch him try to make a win out of that terrible chair. And it was the shrooms.
Acid's the best drug I've ever taken. It's so wonderful. I want more. Yeah. I need to find somewhere where it's legal.
You mentioned, Dick, like if you don't want to eat a bunch of Dodger dogs at the baseball game.
Well, because fucking
does acid make you not? Acid makes you not eat.
The idea of eating on acid is repulsive to me. I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat a tortilla chip.
I didn't know how
acid.
true it was. Okay.
I mean, some people can, but if you try to eat something, it's like you can kind of conceptualize the molecules getting ground up. It's just very off-putting.
Maybe it was what I ate. I ate these maple bacon donuts that were so fucking delicious that it made me appreciate the crispness of the bacon and like the maple, like whatever the maple stuff on top was like really well made. It didn't taste like just pure cane sugar. It was just everything was good. And I was like, these are the best donuts ever, right? And my buddy's like, this is the best donut I've ever had. I'm like, are you allowed to eat bacon? Aren't you a Muslim? And he's like, fuck it. It was that good. It was so fucking good. Acid is by far the best drug ever that I've ever taken. I would like to do acid like 2 or 3 times a year for sure, but I don't know where to get it, and I don't want to go back to prison because that's no fun. That's like the opposite of acid.
Do they even care about acid, or is it just
they care about me?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
It doesn't matter if they care about acid. Don't do anything. Drive the fucking speed limit. Is it?
That sucks.
Anything but that.
I found it really interesting to see the celebrities and that they didn't even have any way to get out of Burning Man. I think Chris Rock made it out of there in a fan's truck. Like they just everybody was stuck. I think people still are. Like Chris Rock made it out of there, but I think there's tens of thousands of people stuck in the mud right now, right?
It could
not
be
muddy anymore.
Wednesday?
People are driving out fine. It's just a traffic jam.
Oh,
I know this. Yeah, friends. I have a friend on.
So it didn't turn into the Superdome.
It just dried out really quickly, like overnight. Not mud anymore.
Yeah, remember the Superdome when it became like
rape gangs
and sewage? Yeah, it took a day to turn into Mad Max in fucking New Orleans. A day.
No, Burning Man is more like, wow, we have everything that you could possibly want. Come over here, and we're cooking a pig in a box.
Yeah.
If you want,
it seemed like they were stranded in a place where they planned on being stranded anyway. Like there's food, there's medical supplies, there's water. It's not quite the same as other catastrophes.
Well, there was nowhere to shit and pee because they couldn't empty the porta potties, and I think they do that every day.
They do that like twice a day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can time them so you can go shit there.
There was nowhere to poop because they were overfilling.
Or everywhere.
70,000. There you go. 70,000 people. And then it doesn't take long for disease to happen, like it's the medieval times or something.
Cholera.
Right? Yeah, or E. coli, like something like that. If we're just walking in shit with wounds in our feet or something, and I don't see a lot of footwear at those things, or at least not a lot of torrential rain, mud, shit walking appropriate footwear. A lot of Crocs and.
It'd be pretty neat if you were the guy, though, that could go places. Like, I happen to get here on dirt bike or paramotor or 4-wheel drive truck in some cases. Like people who
jetpack.
You're going to need a jetpack. You can hydroplane around pretty good. Barefoot's definitely the best way.
What? Snowshoes.
Barefoot doesn't appeal to me in the land of poop and mud.
Well, you got five or 7 square miles there. The poop is probably going to be sequestered to the immediate vicinity of the outhouses.
You overestimate me. This is a common
poop where I
mistake.
like. Tell me.
That'd have to be fast-moving poop.
I knew that they were going to get it solved quickly because of the kind of people that were there. It's weird to me that there isn't an East Coast Burning Man that's more like Tennessee. That's where it would make sense. Like a redneck jamboree Burning Man. That's like the same thing, like a Bonnaroo type thing, but like bigger.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't get that big out there on the East Coast. There's a couple cool festivals. God, I forget the name of my friends at Format right now. I don't know why they don't get that big out there. It's probably because it's so close to LA.
Lands?
Yeah, it's on BLM. They got to give BLM.
See, we don't have
$5 million.
We could maybe have some landowner. Do we have?
We have San Francisco. That's a
the
big
thing about
part
that
of
is
it.
it's that salt plain, right? So you don't have to do anything to it. Like our BLM land is forest.
I didn't know we.
I know I've hunted on it in Georgia, like in Elberton. Elberton's actually where. Remember when the Georgia Guidestones got blown up and they made it a whole Illuminati thing? That's Elberton, Georgia. Right behind the Guidestones is where I used to hunt. So I'm pretty sure that's BLM land or like government land or some shit.
Did they figure out who blew up those stones?
No, they never will.